Hey everyone, it's Jen from Jen Geigley Knits, and somehow, some way, it is Thanksgiving week. I don't know how we got this far into November so quickly, but I just got our groceries for this week and did a little prep because we're having a little bit of a different Thanksgiving at our house this year. We normally go to Bo's sister's house in Chicago and see that side of the family, which is really fun, and we love going there. But this year, poor Lotus, who's my teenage daughter, is getting all 4 of her wisdom teeth taken out on Wednesday, like the day before Thanksgiving. So we're gonna stay at home, relax, kind of have a chill Thanksgiving this year, which is totally fine. We've been on the road a lot this year, so we're kind of cool with just staying at home right now and letting her recover. And this way, we talked about the timing for doing this, she and I, and she decided this is best because then she does have 5 days to recover at home with nothing going on. And before she goes to school, then she'll be feeling better, hopefully. So we're just gonna get it over with. And so yeah, I just went and got a very weird mix of groceries, including soft foods for her, like yogurt and her favorite ice cream, and I'll probably make like mashed potatoes and mac and cheese was on the list. So that's kind of our Thanksgiving this year. And my kids aren't huge on traditional Thanksgiving foods. Most of us don't eat meat or turkey really anymore. And so we're gonna do our own little Thanksgiving here with some of our favorite foods and some soft things for Lotus. And then Bo and I are getting takeout the day before Thanksgiving at our favorite spot called Lucky Lotus. And we usually have leftovers, so we'll probably have that as well. That's like a treat for us. So also, I will tell you, I'll leave the link below, but I have a very favorite baked mac and cheese recipe that we love that I would like to share with you. It's from some of my favorite long-term bloggers of all time, A Beautiful Mess. It's Elsie and Emma, and they are sisters, and they have like all things crafty, but also food and baking. And they have a really, really good baked mac and cheese that is very flavorful and delicious, but also baked in the oven. I'm sorry if you can hear that. My neighbors are cutting down a tree outside, and all I can hear is the saws. Sorry. But yeah, they have a really good baked mac and cheese. I think what makes it good is garlic. They use pepper jack. Do you hear that? I'm sorry. And yeah, anyway, it's delicious. And I kind of make a plain half for my kids. My kids are picky, and then I do it like our half with breadcrumbs and good stuff. But it has a good mix of cheeses, and it's delicious and easy and comfort food. And yeah, I'll make a side that's all soft for Lotus too, so she can enjoy the soft foods. I'm sorry, the saw. It's so distracting. So anyway, this is gonna be my quick little Thanksgiving week check-in, and I'm gonna update you on some stuff I've been working on and some things I did in the past couple of weeks that I just need to show you and catch up on stuff. So last week, was it last week? Everything's running together, by the way, also. So this week, Lotus had a whole bunch of things happening. And she's a junior in high school. Things are, all the teen things are happening. We finally found her a used car, which we've been looking for forever. The used car market is really tricky, and you either get stuck with something that needs tons of repairs or doesn't run or is too nice and too expensive for a high schooler. So we finally found her a really nice Ford Fiesta. It is super cute. It has all-wheel drive, which is really good for Iowa winters. And so we did that this week, which was a big deal. Then the very next day, she and I went to Iowa State University for a college visit, like an unofficial college visit, because that's where I went to school, so I could just kind of show her around. The weather has been beautiful, and it was a beautiful Saturday, 60 degrees, sunny, beautiful day. So we went and checked out all the buildings and the food and the area and the dorms, and I showed her everything just for fun to get her kind of started on her college thinking and planning. She'll still be making decisions. She can go anywhere. We want her to go out of state if she wants, far away if she wants, but I also wanted to show her Iowa State because she's interested in going to school for design and art and that kind of stuff. And they have a really, really good design school. So we thought we'd go check it out. So we did that. But anyway, the weekend before that, I went to the Iowa Quilt Museum with my friend Kay Gardner from Modern Daily Knitting, who is from New York City. And it just was so fun because I would never expect her to be in Iowa. I always visit her in New York. And it was just so cool. Her mom lives in Omaha, and it's not far from Des Moines. It's an easy little drive. And there is a beautiful, like, legendary Kaffe Fassett quilt exhibition at the Iowa Quilt Museum right now, and it's only there until December. So she decided to come with her mom, pick up her mom, drive to Des Moines, meet me in Winterset at the Iowa Quilt Museum to see Kaffe's exhibit. And it was such a fun day. It was so fun to have her in small town Iowa. And Winterset is like the birthplace of John Wayne. It's also the location where all the covered bridges are from bridges of Madison County. And so it's like some fun little things about the town itself. And then it has a beautiful town square in their Main Street area with all of these little businesses that are still there that are very, like, they have history. And it's kind of what I think of when I think of my hometown where I grew up. There's like a Rexall Drug. There was a Ben Franklin that I'll show you. I had a video last year. I went to the Ben Franklin before it closed because I love Ben Franklin. But it has all these it has a little soda fountain, like mom and pop shops, like a general store. And then it has the Iowa Quilt Museum and a very nice quilt shop as well. And it used to have a beautiful yarn shop, but it recently closed. So anyway, it's just a fun little destination. And it was really fun to have Kay and her mom and her brother and uncle all came, and we had a really, really nice day last Saturday. So anyway, I have some footage of that, and then I'll kind of go through what I'm working on. So here is Kay and I visiting the Iowa Quilt Museum. So yes, we had an amazing time at the Iowa Quilt Museum. It's just this cute little older building that used to be a JCPenney, and it has like the floor inlay on the tile outside. And then it's like a 2-story building, and they had all of Kaffe's quilts in there, and you could take pictures, and they have a beautiful gift shop, which I'll get to in a minute. And then next door is a general store, which was really cute. It's the old Ben Franklin. So I really miss seeing the Ben Franklin. I wish it was still there. It had this beautiful, huge Ben Franklin sign outside. And it had a huge, huge fabric room, a whole room full of like maybe the most fabric I've ever seen in my life. So it's really sad that that's gone. But if you want to watch that video, I'll link it below, because last year I visited the Ben Franklin before it closed and made a few purchases and just kind of walked around for old time's sake, because I grew up with a Ben Franklin in my hometown, and it was where I bought all my weird little craft supplies. I'd have like $1 or 50 cents, and I would go buy embroidery floss or buttons or whatever I felt like I needed. It was like my favorite thing to go look in there forever, kind of like what I do now at yarn shops. But anyway, and it was just fun to walk around the town, and we got to see everything. We went to the quilt shop and found some treasures there. And then the one thing I came home with that's kind of special is these unfinished, well, they're kind of finished quilt blocks. They're vintage, made from the old feed sack prints. Like, these are the original old fabrics. They're all different. There is also clothing mixed into this. Like, you can tell some of it might be army uniforms. Like, let's see if I can find. There's shirts. You can see different fabrics of like maybe this, like a military uniform. There's like khakis or like pants or shirts mixed in. And they're all different colors and different fabrics, and a really cool mix of just old, like everything mixed in there, little tiny scraps of everything. And so Kay and I were really looking at this little stack. It was like on this little hanger. It has the cute little Iowa Quilt Shop tag on it. And I think she and I both were like picking it up and putting it down and picking it up and putting it down. And it's just like look at the cool colors in this. It was just, it's, you know, really complex and tiny little pieces. And we just kept thinking like, this is pretty special. So I decided to get it, like, I don't know. And then like I have made quilts. I'm not like a quilter, but I can do it. And it just feels like this is so special. We both felt like this is too special to leave behind. It's almost like the Loose Threads project, if you've heard of that, where they finish people's projects now and, you know, whatever. But it feels like this needs to be finished. It's totally enough to make a whole quilt. I laid it all out. It's like a 5x6 block quilt. And then Kay was like encouraging it too. I was all in anyway. I was already like, I can't leave it there. So I'm gonna do the piecing. I'll show you the back. This is all hand pieced. But I might machine piece it. I haven't decided yet. I might hand stitch it, and I might sew it on the machine. It depends. I'm very busy, and I do really want this to get done. I don't want it to sit unfinished like it, you know, has been for so long, because who knows, this is like the maker of these is probably long gone. I mean, who knows, but I would love to finish this up and give it new life, and it's just so cool. So anyway, I'm gonna piece it, and then Kay's like, if you piece it, I will totally quilt it. I was like, really? So this might be like our cross-country project. I might take it to her the next time I go to New York, which I might go to Vogue Knitting Live in January. So I'm gonna try to get it done by then and take it to her and see if she still really wants to quilt it. If she doesn't, it's okay. But she might quilt it and then give it back to me, and then it might end up being Lotus's dorm quilt or just our living room couch quilt. We will see. But it is really special, and I have no regrets picking this up and taking it home, and I am really excited to work on it. I'm gonna maybe hand piece a couple blocks and see how fast I am. I'm not gonna be fast. We'll see how it goes though. I might enjoy working on this on the couch, or I might just zip it through on my sewing machine and finish it up and then, you know, send it on its way. But yeah, it's like a little quilt journey, the journey of the traveling quilt or whatever. I kind of love it. So that's like my little treasure that I got at the Iowa Quilt Museum gift shop, which is a great gift shop. They have so many things in there. They also had teeny tiny little squares of this feed sack material too that were all vintage, stacked up like those stacks. So Kay walked away with some of those. Anyway, that was my fun thing there. Then the quilts that Kay and I were both very, very, very attracted to in the exhibit were the shot cotton quilts. It's not his floral bright prints. It's more the solids, and they're like kind of a beautiful weave almost of colors, but it's like his solid colored quilts. And then there was a bunch that were the shot cotton stripes, which is what I was like, I love the stripes. So then after thinking about it and kind of looking online, I found a Kaffe stripe quilt set. And shoot, I don't think it has the picture. Oh, maybe it does. Ignore the wrapping. I'm gonna cut this out. And it makes this really modern striped shot cotton Kaffe quilt, which is totally my style and not too hard. Like I don't think there's mitered corners. It's more of a log cabin, which is doable for me. I'm not super advanced. So I'm super excited. There's the little diagram. And so someday, I'm gonna do the vintage quilt first, and then someday I will tackle the shot stripe. It's called the Kaffe Fassett Shot Striped Frame Quilt Kit. Because I just felt like, I don't have a Kaffe quilt. I love, love, love his quilts. And then when I saw this exhibit and it was just such a special day and a special memory, I just really wanted to have a shot cotton quilt in my house. So it's fun to surround yourself with handmade things, and this is gonna be a special one. And also, in contrast, this very, very cool vintage PC quilt too. Okay, so that's kind of my Quilt Museum inspired projects right now. And that's kind of like, quilting is kind of a cozy winter activity too. Like I knit all the time, but sometimes it's nice to take a break and go sit on the sewing machine and sew. Another thing I did this week is I reunited once again with my high school home ec teacher. Her name is Anne, but I still call her Mrs. Baggu because I have a hard time calling teachers by their first name, even though I'm 46 years old. But she and her friend Nancy live not far from Des Moines. And so now that they're here, we've been making regular hangout dates like once a month-ish. And they both knit and crochet. And so we met at our local yarn shop called Junction, and we knitted there for an afternoon, which was really, really fun. And there's few things cooler than hanging out with your home ec teacher. And I know they call it, what do they call it now? Not home ec. Family and Consumer Sciences. I don't know. They have a different name for home ec. I'm old, so I call it home ec. But there's few things cooler than hanging out with your home ec teacher as an adult and reconnecting and crafting together. Like, she taught me so much about food preparation and cleaning and, you know, how to live life, so many real life skills. And then it's fun just to hang out with her now, and she's talking about, you know, what she's going to make for Thanksgiving and different recipes she makes and her crochet project, and she's making these baskets. And then she even brought me this adorable little gingerbread ornament for my tree, which was so sweet and thoughtful because she remembered when I was in high school, she would help us make, like, we baked our own gingerbread houses in her class. I cannot imagine how much work this was for her because she did it with every class. So we made the dough. We had paper templates that we would trace and cut out, and then we'd make the pieces. Then we would assemble the gingerbread houses, and we did it like during a whole week, probably before holiday break. And it was a huge undertaking, but of course, it's like a core memory of high school is making these gingerbread houses in Mrs. Backey's class. So she brought me a cute little gingerbread ornament to kind of remember that. And I thought that was the sweetest thing. So anyway, I'll put a couple pictures here of us hanging out at Yarn Junction. So that was a really fun and special afternoon spent at Yarn Junction, and I picked up a couple things while I was there, but the one thing I didn't pick up while I was there and I need to go back for is they had this special yarn from a place called Happy Hearts and Hooves in Newton, Iowa, and it is a farm sanctuary for a lot of different animals. I think they have pigs and goats and all kinds of animals, but they have alpacas that are older alpacas that they have rescued, and they want to give them a good end of life. But they decided this year to make yarn from the alpacas, and for the first time, so it's like their first big batch of yarn, and it was so gorgeously smushy. It was so nice, and I think it's like a really nice idea that this farm, I think we can go visit if you'd like, but this yarn was amazing. And they had a bunch of different weights, but they had a really giant skein of fingering yarn that I just keep thinking about. I just have to find the right thing for it because it's really, really beautiful and special and soft. And I'll show you a picture here. So I did pick up a couple things while I was there, and one of them is this awesome Baggu bag. I use these a lot for my knitting because they are slick, and I use them for shopping bags too. Like I just carry one in my purse, but I love using these for yarn and carrying the yarn around because the yarn doesn't catch on it. It doesn't get fuzzy or pill. It's just a slick, nice, easy bag. You can throw all your stuff in it. But these Sanrio Baggus were really hard to find because they sold out really fast, and it's just so fun to find them in your yarn shop. Although I might be giving this one to Lotus or putting it in her stocking because this is like her favorite Hello Kitty Sanrio characters on here. Like Bowie loves these too, but so I can see her maybe stealing this from me, but I'm encouraging her to keep crocheting and knitting too. So maybe this could be her knitting bag. Or maybe I'll go get another one because they're very cute. And these big ones are only $14 and they are so worth it. I love Baggu. Like my main yellow purse that I carry everywhere is Baggu, and I just love this brand. But these make a good knitting bag. So I got that, and I might go get another. And then I got this, which I know everyone has seen before at your local yarn shop or wherever, but I have wanted one of these kits forever, and I decided to treat myself, and I might just save it and set it aside because sometimes like my dad or someone will be like, what do you want for the holidays as a gift, you know? And so I might set this aside and have someone give it to me because I've always wanted this blue sky alpaca, not alpaca, blue sky. I used to say that. Blue Sky Fibers is their name. It is a 21 color slouch kit that makes this hat. I have always wanted this set because it has every color in a mini skein. I think it is such a cute hat. It would be a cute holiday hat. And so I don't know, if I don't have this given to me from my dad or someone else, I'll just give it to myself. Or the kids can give it to me because it's just so cute and I've always wanted it. And so I just finally grabbed it because I love it, because I've thought about it a million times. Like, how cute would that hat be? How fun would it be to wind up those little skeins and make a little hat? So that was my little treat. Also, let's see, something else I've been ready to cast on. Like, I started swatching last night, but my gauge was off, so I'm gonna start again today. Is the first thing I'm casting on from Grand Shetland Adventure Knits by Gudrun Johnston and Mary Jane Mucklestone. I picked this up at Rhinebeck and I've been looking through it ever since because it's a beautiful book, and I've been kind of planning, like, what do I want to knit first from this book? And so I decided on, let's see if I can get the page. I want to knit like 5 things from this, but the first thing I'm going to make is the Downstairs Socks by Mary Jane Mucklestone. They are so fun. I want to make these exact colors. She has like a little story about the socks, and then I'm going to find the other picture of them because they're really cool. I don't want to show you the pattern pages, but I'll show you this. Look at the cool EXO. The whole design is based on a Shetland traditional design that she saw there. Here's another beautiful picture, just because this book is gorgeous, and you should totally pick it up if you like this kind of stuff. These two have traveled there many times together, so they kind of documented their trip and made designs based on Shetland. Gudrun is from Shetland, and so she even has designs in here that were based on things her mother made years ago. And this is by Line Publishing, so you can get it through them, or you can get it several places online. But I got mine at Rhinebeck, and they signed it, which was really, really sweet. So I just picked up yarn for those socks. So it's Jameson and Smith, the Shetland wool, and these are the colors. So I'm going with her original colors. She had a lighter yellow, but I really like this bright, vivid, like RGB color. So this is my yarn for that. And then I got an extra oatmeal and an extra red because you need one more of each, I think, for the size I'm making. And I was trying to use a size 1 needle, and I think my gauge was too big, and so I'm going to go down to a 0 and start over tonight. Always swatch. It is the lesson we all learn, you know, like you got to know before you get too far into it. But it's such a cool project, and I cannot wait to wear these around. These might be like my holiday socks, but I'm knitting lots of other things. This will definitely be like a side project here and there, but super fun. And the chart is so much fun. So I'm excited to start on that again. And then I've also been reading the Knitting Pattern Writing Handbook. This is a new book, new-ish, that's out recently. And I write knitting patterns. I never talk about this, but I have a lot of knitting patterns that I have written. Go check out my Ravelry. I have books out that I have self-published, and books that I've done through Rowan and Modern Daily Knitting and all kinds of things. So someday I'm going to talk about my knitting patterns because I write a lot of knitting patterns, but I rarely share them, and I don't know why. But no matter how long you've been writing patterns, there's more to learn, and you're always trying to perfect your craft. So I am reading this book right now, and it is very good. And it's by Christina McGrath and Sarah Walworth, the knitting experts of Tech Tip Talk. And so it's really well written, and there's nice little illustrations in there. And if you're a pattern writer, I suggest you pick it up. It's a good one. And then what else am I doing? I have a sweater in progress. Since I knitted my other sweater in a weekend, obviously I'm working on something else right now. And this is my adorable, I got this bag last year. This bag is from Modern Daily Knitting, but it's a Hohi bag. And it's, I believe, the Ricoletta bag. And I love this size. I obviously love this color, and it's just a perfect little tote. You can use it as your purse too, but it's a great little bag. And I am currently working on a sweater for La Bien-Aimée in Corey Worsted. And this is the color Cocoa, which is my perfect chartreuse. Like, if there was a Jen color in the world, it would be exactly this. And so I have 2 almost sleeves done, and this yarn is gorgeously perfect. It's so much fun to knit. So I'm zipping through these sleeves. They actually take a little while, and they're rolling, so they look like they're shorter than they are. But second sleeve, hopefully maybe done today. Body of the sweater, I'm trying to get this done before Vogue Knitting Live in January, and I think I'm on track to do that. And that's kind of what I'm working on. That will be a new design, and I'm not gonna share the whole thing yet, but you'll see it eventually. And it's a really fun company to work with, and I'm very excited about it. And what else? That's kind of it. Okay, I just remembered the thing I was gonna tell you about, and it's a good one, it's a big one, and I have a really good coupon for you. It is the LUMOS light. You've seen this everywhere, I am sure. It is like the knitting light. It's amazing, and I've used it every single day since I got it last year. if you use my code on lumos.com, which I'll put below, it's JenLumos30, and you'll get 30% off this knitting light, which is the very best knitting light, I promise, out there. It makes a really good gift if you need an idea for someone to give to you, or if you want to give to someone else. They will love it, I promise. Every single knitter I know, and I know a lot of people who have these now, they all love their Lumos light, and I do too. So I use this every day. I use it at night. I use it in the daytime when I'm working on dark yarn that I need to see better. But my favorite use for it is just knitting on the couch with my family back there when we're watching a movie or watching TV, because they hate it when we have to turn on the big overhead light. Like, please, Mom, don't make us turn on the light so you can see your knitting. So this has eliminated that entire problem. I can sit next to them. There's different settings on these lights, and you can also hold them and dim the lights, and so they're not blinding anyone. And this is like the softest, most high quality. It's very easy to adjust these little arms. It's very comfortable and lightweight, as in light like this. And it's really easy to adjust these and move them exactly where you need them. And it's my favorite knitting tool, not kidding, that I own and probably most used. And so it really is a great gift. If you need an idea for your significant other to give you, or someone else in your family, or if you need an idea to get, this is also great for people who read books, other crafts, stitching, sewing, embroidery. So think of people on your list too for that, because this is seriously such a useful gift, and I just can't express enough how I love it and use it every day. So go to lumos.com, get your knitting light, and it's on sale. It's like a Black Friday this week sale, so it starts today. My code is JenLumos30, and you'll get 30% off, and that's a higher discount than they offer on the website. I think they offer 20 or 25, but I'll give you 30 if you use my code. And then I do get a small commission from your purchase, so thank you very, very much for your support if you end up getting one. But I love this light, seriously. It's wonderful. Seriously. And my kids take it all the time too for things they're doing. They use it. Like Bowie likes to take my light and use it for things. I don't know what he's doing, and then Lotus, she crochets. So maybe we share the light a little bit, but yeah, I love this light. That's my little Black Friday deal for you. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today as I go through my random sewing and knitting projects. I hope you have a good Thanksgiving week here in the US if you celebrate Thanksgiving. And I really appreciate you hanging out and watching. I love hearing from you, and I love reading your comments. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're new here, welcome. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. And in the meantime, have a great week. Have a good Thanksgiving. Happy knitting, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.